All right. All right. Go. Alrighty. Here we go. Is it? Oh crap. Oh, tab does it. Okay. Right click too.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly.
We can sit on benches after we've solved.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito, bullet holes, and there is a hollow ring as you kick the box. Your toe has suffered damage. It hurts.
Cool. You really showed that made action work.
He does not actually think it's cool. If anything, the lieutenant feels sorry for the poor box. He's leaning in to inspect the layers of graffito that deface it. The lieutenant pats the box, ever so slightly.
That was dumb. I really don't want to kick a box. Retry.
The worn.
You can revisit.
So Square said he'd be right back?
Yeah, I'm here. Why?
No, you're not. Don't fucking lie to me.
What? What?
What?
What?
Who are you?
Not allowed to talk to you because I say only lies.
Lies.
Lies. We've determined that that is also a lie.
Hmm.
Fucking
They seem
weeb.
to be in a weird situation now.
Alright. hold on.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum. The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks
Probably some kids.
a simple but clever solution to ruining a coin-operated viewer. A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onuk written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards. That's Kuno on the lens. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts. Lanky, weather-worn wooden planks. An X-shaped cross. You know this to be the star of Pericanasis, or the Cairo. The central symbol of the Pericanassian church, a star, a great moral height. Around the large wooden building you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach. This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says, why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty?
There was a revitalization project in 49. A design studio tried restoring Martinez to its pre-war glory. It didn't stick. They got as far as the street lamps and the statue on that intersection. Then something went sour. I suspect that something was Évrard Claire, the union leader. He muscled them out. It's how it usually goes around here. We should have done something about the union 10 years ago. That ship has sailed, officer.
Your money disappears into the coin slot. The curtains on the display open. You lean in to catch the view. It's blurry. Different blues and greens. The lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible. A half-sunken sea fort. Its concrete almost reconquered by nature. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of the anti-aircraft tower. A lonely birch tree.
Really? I don't have the eyesight to make it out.
How many points do I have? Oh, I have one.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Right.
You have no clue. So many walls all over Martinez, weather-worn, cracked.
Hey, what's that noise down there?
Locked.
There must be another way to the beginning.
That was weird. Locked. Okay.
Hey! Up here, Piggo! The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
Just trying to crack a beer, damn it.
The streets will not flow red with anything.
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C. And here I was trying to be polite. Just can't win with you pigs.
A brush, an artist. The red splatter is urban expressionism. The lieutenant furrows his brow at another one of your eccentricisms. Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershore. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinez.
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to Ozon. Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cats. And my name's not Mona, so... This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, you know. Summon the forces of crime and social chaos. With a war... Yeah? Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come.
She means the opposite.
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make. Watch your back, Ungula.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that alone for the moment.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbor. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. Peyton, my maiden name. I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia. The police. Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Relax. She meant it in jest.
I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel, there is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM?
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competence.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. This is a tact. It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines Group. Why, yes I am. Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Technically, the neighboring Ozone and Fas Alamer island groups are archipelagos, while La Caillou, by contrast, is a single fertile landmass, the fourth largest island in the world. It is not an archipelago.
Okay, if you want to get technical. The point is, we're all on islands here, and sail is still the most expedient way to get from one island to another, especially when you're in a hurry to resolve a strike. I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's... Before you do, it would be pertinent to ask other questions. Gather more info on this boat of hers.
The boat? No. It is called Cor de Leyte 19 because that's the type of sloop it is. It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business. My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips,
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
Good. What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain. Saint-Baptiste, LUM, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue. And to think, there are years when the group books losses in the billions.
Worker Dave is working.
Yes, he is.
Wild Pines employs
working?
72,000 people,
Worker
all of
Dave.
whom have families that depend
Why is
on
he
their
working?
salaries. It is
Well,
a
you know,
tremendous
Dave.
responsibility. They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when Pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lomantang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it. You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed or been absorbed. To survive, Wild Pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that. You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? We built this district.
There it is. She owns up to it.
All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions. The plazas Meteor and Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from the WP. Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, long before Terminal B was erected here, the Pines built it as a resort for its Revacholian employees. A company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution. But that's another matter. I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place they built. Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments that gives me the right to silence.
The octopus that straddles Revachol, the Emergencies Act, is the cornerstone of post-war Revachol, inseparable from the world it created.
Good luck is only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civil...
What the ma'am means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authority from the coalition government.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
Fair enough.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
Okay.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Oh, god damn it. Part of me wants to. Fuck it. I'll ask. Ah, nobody's here. Yeah, avoid that.
Yes, I believe there is a connection, but that's a subject for later. Oh, so you've met him. Has he begun?
My colleague has his peculiarities. Let's not go into this particular one just yet.
Fair
Of
enough.
course. To each their own. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress
Excuse me.
I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
Oh, boy. Where is this? Ah. Okay.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time the
Oh, that's
demands
so
are more,
terrible.
I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous, even. It's meant.
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Go on, shorter stature, you see.
Okay. Oh, that's... I wasn't exactly expecting that.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair. There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker, a member of the board. Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines Group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution. I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags, a disaster.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about...
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to?
Don't let her answer it herself.
If these strikebreakers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Fair enough.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick him with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
Oh, heavens no. We get along just fine. Yet, now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his double chin. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Evrard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Debardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a...
A mob. The Debardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Debardeurs Union is... Indeed, and a hungry one. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers. I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
This forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence, Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the Union's files. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a Union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help? This... reality?
Yes, reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
Are they now?
A deep synthesis. I'll assist you however I can then. Go ahead.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
We're in Martinez, baby. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed. Aren't we?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near
He's
the
enjoying
industrial
this.
harbour. North of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year. I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. As I told you, Martinez used to be a province. A workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its part. Now the Reeds are the real star of the show here. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets. It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean. Yes, we're on an island in an ocean. the world's largest body of water, the Insulindic.
Known to the early Rivisholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the Blue Immensities.
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her. And to humanity at large.
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city, a great kind. History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries. The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed. In the DeLorean century, 380 years ago, they say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men. We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island, able to sustain up to 200 million people. In the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is. I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about...
A sparkle of lights on the horizon, like evening stars above the curvature of...
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a loadout.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am, Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
Oh, of course not. You are already diligent for getting this far, and diligent boys remember where they left off.
Oh, has it gotten too late?
Indeed. I'm always at your service. Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else I can do? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine...
How curious. Why is that, Detective? I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
She must have been suspecting something for a while now.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
I'm gonna try something. Maybe, if anybody's watching, give me a boost. Nothing. Oh, this is a red check. don't think it's... So I cannot recheck it after some...
Of course. But before we do, officers, the situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business, the better for all of us.
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy. Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint. Why, yes. Tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rustic in its simplicity, a silk shirt and matching scarf, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say, within reason. Now look at you, you misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and you're poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too. Yes, you're too ashamed to ask this person for money.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Fuck it.
Voila, you're doing it.
Of course. How much do you need?
Hell yeah, okay.
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament than she's letting on?
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you.
Damn,
The
okay.
paper is cold and oily to the touch. There must be about 200 real in that zip bag, maybe a little less. Plus,
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
You're right, ma'am, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today? Besides, of course, Detective. Take...
wow, you work hard. Oh, yes, you hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide. Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way. That's just what it's like. Life and death. But you got gills on your side, baby. Got those black paper. It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop and a sprinter and a money printer. Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety?
This is how I enter my
attack
house.
or
Hey,
shoot
bro.
yourself in
What's
the back?
up, fuckers?
You still hustle
Fuck you,
24/7.
that's why!
Ride or die. Now, ask yourself.
Cheers.
Are you rich? That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself
Oh,
to the
sorry.
grave,
Well, I'll
and you're
drink one
still
for you. How about that?
practically a hobo. Why is that? Because of the taxes. G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers
Cheers,
in your
Ed.
pocket, stealing from you every time you buy, sell, walk, talk, fart, so much as... Our tax is almost non-existent in the Gotham estate that is Revachol. You and I both, but they got those indirect...
Sounds like
modes of
upstairs
taxation.
people
Hello,
problems
Anil.
to me.
Sales
I'm
tax,
downstairs people.
Excise duty, extraction tax.
You-
This tax that
You
doesn't
probably
even
missed the
have a
other
name.
two parts of this game.
Plus,
This one is...
there's the stuff people in other countries pay for.
This is a game in which
money from you.
you're a detective in a very
Because of mistakes
odd
and myth. In total,
society,
the coalition government
and you got
has taken
completely blasted, and you lost your badge, your gun, and you're supposed to be investigating a lynching, and yeah, it's not going so well. But you're trying, and you talk to yourself a lot.
98% of all your money.
But there is a cool thing with this one because I can ask you guys for your opinions on what I should choose. We'll do that right now. Yeah.
What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples till they bleed. Can't you see? Aren't you sick and tired of having bloody nipples?
Not sure. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. I'll go with that
What
one.
are you, a racist? Don't be a racist. Be a cool, ultra-liberal free
It just
market
sounds stupid.
advocate. Ride or die. Keep it street. This guy's appropriating the emerging Boogie Street lingo as part of his sales pitch for the free market economy. Yeah, ain't it cool, Ryder? Ain't it street?
No.
Mazovian Socioeconomics. 0.000% of communism has been built. Evil child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit-eating grin. All he has managed to do is make himself sad.
Oh,
He has started to suspect Krasmezov fucked him over personally with his socio-economic theory. It has, however, made him into a very smart boy with something like a university degree in truth. Instead of building communism, he now builds a precise model of this grotesque, duplicitous world.
Ooh. Ooh, those are some nasty bonuses. But left-wing dialogue options give you a... That one's probably gonna get discarded at some point too. I kind of want to get rid of that. Oh, I can't. I need a point to get rid of it. Shit. Son of a bitch. I didn't realize it was going to be that bad. This is one I want to do. Oh boy, oh boy. I need my badge. Yeah, that's fine. What is my rhetoric? Rhetoric. Yeah, fuck it. I'll take it. Let's see. No, wrong one. This one. Oh, 22. Only 20. Fuck it. I'm gonna continue
You're
talking here.
back. More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late for the big time. The revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle. Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one for...
She likes the totality of it.
Indeed. They piled them in mass graves in Ozon. And, well, that's the last anyone heard of those people. Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people. Yes, the Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it.
Part of me wants to, but the other part of me is like, that's gross. So fuck it. Okay.
Yes, an acute thiamine deficiency can be exacerbated by alcoholism. Exacerbated means made worse. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown
least she's
into the
honest.
horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew.
Fair enough.
The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. Yes, King Guillaume had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it. What is the expression? Went down? Anyway, Gil got out alive and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time. The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective, or the remaining gentry, the beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well. They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head.
We. She's one of them. Of course.
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay, the armed center of the world.
I do
They
love
landed
French.
here and
French is a
ended
fun
the
language.
revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Probably should learn it at some point, but I've only taken of it.
The moralists believe in keeping
You better
everything
Spanish right now.
exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
I want to save a little bit of time so I can talk to Guard,
This
too.
is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
A devout man of the center. Hard to come by. It's good to have someone who takes a moderate approach to head shooting. In your line of work, I mean.
Forgot about the head shooting.
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question.
The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. It made people overthrow their governments. Indeed, Zarat is a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
It was a funny time in history. They discovered transistors and rock music, but they didn't know anything about prions. Nobody did.
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end. Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control. A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course. The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-Islary communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Time flies. The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a...
All that untaxed income must have fueled the new. That can only mean one thing.
Yes. And quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. So, here, welcome to reality, baby.
Yes! Sweet!
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
Yes! Alright, I'm gonna get rid of my negatives. I think. This is really not helping. I think. Right? But at the same time, it does give plus 4 XP, so can I just deal? I mean, I added 1 to visual calculus. Authority's already fucked anyway. What do you think, Pro? Authority's at -4. It's not like I have any kind of authority anyway. Visual calculus, I already boosted it up to 5. Without it, it would be 6. No way in hell I'm helping my authority. My authority's just gotta stay. Or you mean the -4? Oh, so for the XP, so keep it. It's not a terrible thing to have. Maybe I'll just open up a new one. That's the one that they said that yeah, let's just do this. This was the one that that you wanted to do right away. That's what he said, too. Should take some time. All right. Oh. Wait, it actually... Oh. I need a map. That would be helpful.
They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not.
Oh. Wait, where was that? Oh, map. These are closed then? Oh. White ones are open. Oh, in the bookstore. Got it. Okay. Well, at least I have money now. I can do that.
Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and let the pines... I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. Perhaps it's better I was born when I was. 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Khupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have been in good company.
Probably.
Good question. What would you have done differently? So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion? A complex folding protein, unlife, with a technology 50 years ago. A poor remedy for prion disease. That was the attitude of most of the more moderate Indo tribes, particularly those who support Khupri, Resplendent, both gone now. Those that survived mended their ways. They're all ultras now.
Hello.
Hi.
I spent like the last 30 minutes talking to this lady.
Oh.
She's fascinated that I lost my mind.
Oh.
Hey, it's getting me XP, so I'll take it.
You seen outside?
What?
You seen outside?
Going?
Yeah. I don't know. White out there.
Oh, that's lovely.
Did you see whatever that weather thing was? Do you know what that is? Yeah, that.
Oh, wow. Oh, snow squall.
Never heard of a snow squall.
Oh. River squall?
Nope. We have one of them going on right now.
It says, be ready for sudden drop to near zero visibility in icy roads and heavy snow. Holy crap. Seriously?
Yeah, look outside.
How much snow are we supposed to be getting? Oh, it's a snow thunderstorm.
Oh.
That's impressive. That is a first.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
9:30.
45 more minutes.
Southern Stevenson. We're going to be getting an edge of it. Oh, so it's going to be barely any snow. It's going to be 21 degrees. Eddie else is high.
Hi.
Pretty itchy.
How are you?
You made a very good girl. She's just sleeping. I think she had enough playing around today.
Yeah, he's been napping on the floor by me. There. Do you like your bed? Look at you.
Barely didn't tear a hole in it. Oh, I gotta go. Be right back. I gotta go check the laundry. I gotta get that stuff drying again.
What are you doing, kid? Honey, like your bed? Well, that's nice and soft, huh? Yeah, that's nice and soft. Huh? There's Buddy. Yes, yes, yes.
Here, little girl. I know. Probably need to go out too. Come on. Sorry, forgot about you. Here you go, girl. Hey, I'm good, girl. Lay down. Alright, anyways, I'm back.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
Understandable. They are what they are. Anyway, enough sentimentality.
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer. She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine.
Hold on, I gotta do this. There's an option I want to do. Alright.
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought our kind were all extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as this anymore. Not in broad daylight. I can see we're not so different, you know. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
a devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly?
That dialect is Ubi Sunt. You recognize it's a quote from somewhere. A play written way back in the Franco-Nigerian century.
Ah, maybe you remember more than you let on. Despite whatever brain damage the alcohol may have inflicted. I hope we're able to continue as friends, despite my scaly bulk and my intimidating liberal credentials. This was not the plan. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinaise a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinaise, and not in the Stellar.
She realizes her small, cold fists.
Then for my daughters, we had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it. Perhaps my intellectual vanity.
You're no dummy yourself.
A smart boy getting smarter, one basic term of reality at a time. Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother.
Hey,
and a
down.
wife. Now, shall we return to reality? A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions? Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
No, lay down. Be quiet. Shush.
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush.
Wonderful. The girl in the old lady rags. Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture. Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture. Young people who dye their hair funny colors and wear old people's clothes are stupid, and their little rebellion is self-defeating. All right, what next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
And what would that be? I can see that, yes. I dabble in those dark arts myself, not so long ago.
Lay down.
I
Go
assure
to
you,
sleep.
it was a thoroughly supracultural phenomenon. All permeating. Downright
This dog,
mandatory. Nothing infra about disco, baby. Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of a new girl. Disco was a minor, but still enjoyable facet of the whole thing for me. The new. A cultural era. And the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary Revachol. It was ultra-liberal. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne-colored everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now, wasn't it Guillaume Le Million who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there? Ah, yes. This is not very central to reality, is it? I can't be 100% sure, but I believe he died due to complications from venereal disease. All of them. I'm afraid no. But then again, one can't be entirely sure. It's all part of his
Good girl.
mystique. Ask someone else and you may get a more champagne-colored take. Anyway, what other basic facets of reality should we discuss? Glad to have been of assistance.
Okay. Let's see. Thank you. So I want to talk to... I want to talk to Gart. Oh, hold on. Excuse me. I'm looking for bottles too. Ooh, I'll take that. Thank you. Looking hard for bottles. I like money. Ooh, hell yeah. No, I have to trade the bottles in for money. I think I do that at the store. Friet? Which is where I'm going now. Yes. This guy desperately needs money. He has to pay off for doing some really stupid shit while he was drunk. Sounds like me.
The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine.
$1.40.
Appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man.
Anything in... No, not the hat, the bag. Ooh, I want to buy a map.
Is this about the question?
What's the maps again?
A colorful display of cigarettes and
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol...
No, I don't need alcohol. Is that cigarettes?
a small cabinet on the wall is filled
No. Which one is the map? Shit. Is this the right shop, bro?
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are...
Oh, the bookstore, the bookstore. My bad. Sorry. I forgot you said it was a bookstore. Going up in chat, it says right there. Buy it. Store's over here. Tomorrow, I guess. They're gone for the day. Golf.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Oh. That's a lot of buttons.
An off-key melody starts playing after you ring the doorbell.
Kuno, please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time for your stupid games.
She thinks you're the gremlin child. What would he say to this?
Pardon? This is not Kuno. Please just stop calling him.
A single beep indicates that the line, you hear the same waiting room music. You ring the doorbell. What an ominous name for a hair salon. Doesn't bode well for anyone's. All you hear is static, but no one answers the call. You ring the doorbell.
I'm gonna hit every goddamn button.
You wait for a minute or two. Looks like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter. The doorbell doesn't. You hear static from the intercom speaker. You can almost hear them breathe.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric.
She sounds almost antique, as if her voice was... Wait, but what happened to Slipstream SCA? There's no Tricentennial Electrics on the list.
My God.
The lieutenant exchanges a look with you.
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would hear your voice here.
She must be mistaking you for someone. Who cares that you don't remember her? Just go along with it.
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care.
Alright. We're gonna be a dick.
Ever since I came to work here, it's been different. As if my mind's been wiped clean.
Lay down. Down.
A A spot of static overrides her.
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally.
She sounds like she's about to cry. She doesn't answer. Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay. Another seagull passes by.
It must have been some kind of faulty wiring. We should maybe stop playing with this door.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call box read. No, hold on. The last thing you need in your life is more hysteric emotions. Forget it. Find something else to do. Silence. No one's home. Silence. No one on. Nothing happens after you ring. Silence. No one on. This button looks new, but someone has.
Huh. This button looks new. It's probably not.
Wait, I have stuff? I don't believe I do. I don't know. I wanted to talk to Gert before I run out of time. Oh, now it's busy.
Hello again, sweetie. Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next pay?
You must be joking. Although our pay does some.
It's not easy to assert your right to a decent living wage when you don't have a strong union behind you.
Interesting idea. This Evra.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already? Attaboy. It's coming back to him.
Oh no.
You had your mesolimbic reward pathway worried there, not thinking about drinking all that time. It was like, maybe you haven't turned out well for your drinking. Have you thought about that? Get a goddamn rum and lemonade to yourself, boy. What happened, man? You used to be cool. Go get your boring normal person. Get your drink on and your act together.
Seriously? Alright, what do I really expect? Yeah, I'm just gonna not do that, because that ends badly.
A colorful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. Makes your fingers itch. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine. It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man stares back at you from the photo. The man does not mind. You probably need them.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait. Use magnesium to heal your morale if you have morale damage.
I'm gonna look for bonuses. I don't know how this button works, but I'm going to try. +1. Oh, okay. Hold on, this one says +1 Ruckus talking to Gert. I'm gonna just leave for the moment. I want to talk to Gert like a normal person. I'll talk to Gert real quick.
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my stuff. None of us would... I think fugue states are more your forte, officer. The trash collection service, CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This would thank you anyway.
Yes. Wait, what? But what about the bird? Yes, the bird. I found it lying on the floor with a broken wing the morning she left. You broke the skewer!
I assure you it was him.
Why on earth did you have to break the skewer? I can't believe it. I was so sure it was Sylvie. Even worse, I thought she was trying to send me a message. Symbol of hope and all.
A tender type of hope. Something stirs in you. Perhaps this is...
All right. Did she say anything else? About me, you know? Did she say anything about me? Really? I should give her a call then. Thanks, I guess.
Aha!
Anything else you wanted, or...
Yes! Skill point.
We were sort of hoping there would be a gun, an expensive jewel, or at least a sword in it for you.
Yes. Have you got it? Well... Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow. I'll unlock the electronic lock to your room. All the doors lock automatically at 9 p.m.
Okay, that's pretty funny. No, I want to be a decent... I'm trying to be a decent person in this game because that's how I usually play stuff on my normal playthrough. I try to be decent. Some stuff strikes me as funny, so I try it anyway. Oh, jeez.
Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
No, we're gonna skip the... So we have a point. I don't want to... Alright, we're gonna save that for the moment. That's gonna be tough, trying to get... Well, maybe I can milk the other lady for money.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen.
The winch. Outside. In the backyard. Remember?
Well, if there was a winch, I suppose we could look into it. As a side
It's hardly a side investigation. You already have a name for it.
If you say so. Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
The cobalt blue surface feels rough to old cobalt paint. Rough on the fingers. It leads to a side building, adjacent to this one. The old building, the door does not budge.
Hell yeah, I'll take 15 real, or 1.15 real. Let's talk to him about it. We got a couple more minutes.
Can I help you?
Really?
Another thing. Great. Oh, yes, that door. Sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just awesome, boring storage space with a bunch...
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Fine, okay. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door. in one. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so yes?
No, we're avoiding drinks as much as possible. That's not happening tonight. Okay, so yeah, there's a clock down here. It, as far as I can tell, it randomly moves forward when I do stuff. I suppose it also depends on who I'm talking to and what I'm doing at the time. I have to keep an eye on it because there are certain times when things close, and then there are certain times where I have to talk to Kim Kitsuragi, who is a fucking angel. He's the guy who's with me. He's also awesome. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very complicated game, and I'm trying to do the best of it, but it's a competition. There's a lot of things I'm supposed to be investigating. Boy, there's a lot of stuff I have to do. I like drinking with this game, but at the same time I feel it's hampering me. Also, keep an eye out for bottles, because if I collect bottles, I'm good. Nobody in there yet. I suppose I could probably talk to the big guy. Let's take a quick run over there and talk to the big guy. The big guy is a giant racist. Beat. This mañana?
Hola, Wandering Man. How can...
Alright. Here we go.
The unpromising race pupil returns. There is nothing fun I cannot possibly end.
Oh boy. So. Okay. There's a lot of choices. Help me with the choices. Well, there's one.
Look, babe. The rich man has humiliated and emasculated.
Aha! Thank you!
You can only think in base materialist categories and feminine abstractions like money.
Rich man really fucked him over, Jean.
His rage is already played out on the stage of history as the grotesque tragedy of revolution. All it can accomplish now is impotent academic text and neurosyphilitic rock and roll melancholia. Impotent class warrior. I take pity on you. You clearly want to enter the harbor bad, like a little boy who wants to go on the potty. I can press the button for you. It will open the door. Very well. You may enter the door once. Our race conversation here has concluded.
Finally.
Did he... Wait, did the door actually open? Oh shit. Wait, I went the wrong way. Fuck. I think. I don't know. Wait. So is it open? Am I dumb? Maybe I have to actually physically open the door. What? Door open! Wait, am I stupid? I think I'm stupid. Fuck. Press the button.
The unpromising raise pupil.
What did I miss? Bro? Not moving.
The unpromising raise pupil returns.
Shit. Is it too late? Oh. Shit. I have 2 skill points, but I'm not wasting them right now. God damn it, why?
Right to work! Things are busy enough. You're going to waste less of...
The Hulking man oozes stark skepticism.
We were promised work. We'd be in. Main gate's locked. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. Yeah? That giant up there on the bridge you talked to. Head measurer. Won't let the workers by. Bad. Standing up. I don't know how the Union has a train. Why don't you go?
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home.
No. They will.
Yeah. Alright, I'm confused. No, that's not happening. Why can't I go past the gate? He clicked it. He said he was doing it once. Why the hell can't I go past it? Get out of my way!
The unpromising raise pupil returns. There is not... I cannot possibly... Racist. Welcome. He must think red. I am... The drawings are precise.
The size of the...
Your earlobes.
Yes.
You exhibit. It is impossible. This leads me to conclude your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as don't be for Mr. Clare. Also, of course, above all, stop explaining yourself. Offshoot. I am not surprised you. We are the. I am a. No. I'm from. You have heard enough. Don't be. Mr. Clare, it jam. I am not surprised. Miss Head stoically looks to the distance. As you turn, a bright light catches your eye. From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. What are you? Deaf? They're perfect. Like rock star politician and drug addict teacher. Embrace the superstardom you've worked so hard. Yeah, a cool, trash superstar. Big dick cop down on his luck. Salam Rocky by here. Badass on the edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Yeah, you know. Beneath it is just, this is the beginning of your legend. With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you...
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still... We can pick up where we left.
Alright. The balcony, okay. Call it a day and actually call it a day too. Well, the other guy, like Manana, is gone too. Those the other, a lot of people just okay. At least I finally finished a day.
Yes?
I thought this was the balcony.
Yes?
What? What? Okay. No, guess we're not actually doing that, because I guess I've answered all my questions. Oh, I don't know.
This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Just a moment. You had some questions earlier, I believe. And besides...
Okay.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then...
Where shall we begin? We should talk about the investigation, first and foremost. But I also remember you wanting to discuss the RCM?
You should stop smoking. Yes.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
Well, it's bad for you, and you're gonna die. Eventually. Please tell me he doesn't die in this game, because I'll be very sad.
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will and unhealthy.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easy to simply quit. Yet, were he to quit, he would lose the cool factor. This man relishes his cool quite a bit.
I'm gonna ask. Should I ask or should I just skip? I'm gonna ask.
I apologize, but I only brought one with me. I have exactly one cigarette every night while going over my notes.
Fair enough.
Yes. It's been a long and eventful day. Well, we didn't even look at the body, but we performed a thorough search of the premises of the crime scene. That's great. We are both doing our best under the circumstances. Just don't drink tonight, please. As for the interview, we weren't able to find the union leader, Evrard Claire, much less interview him. So that's on the to-do list for tomorrow. We talked to Joyce Messier, but didn't get any information from her. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us.
If Kim is emphasizing something this much, it really must be important.
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice? It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those hills. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange. They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule. The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Revachol. Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM. We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station call slip. It prevents confusion and overcrowding. You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up. As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power. You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best. We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Courron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them. Yes, the international community's mission in Revachol, and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM. It's probably more honest, yes. Either way, the Morlinton leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
Or if they think you do.
The Moralist International are the world's largest
Hold
political
on.
organization.
We're almost done.
You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
No! Sit! Stay. 5 minutes. Thank you.
There are a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
He's doing okay.
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth by Dolores Day.
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion.
No, she probably has to go out, or she
I think
wants
you can gauge
to
what they want
get her
to think
bone.
of them from that.
It's that time of night. Likes a schedule. She'll be okay. As soon as I finish this, I'll be taking her up.
Something kind and usual. Something almost... Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky.
Sit and stay. You're okay. Just give me a couple more minutes. No. 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 You okay?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too... The Moralintern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen. Do you?
No. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. They were playing earlier.
We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes. Then you will adore Martinez. For many of these people, the Union especially, vigilantes is precisely what we are. Personally, I don't enjoy it.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette. An aerostatic passes overhead, the whiskers of its floodlights on the ground below. Kitsuragi's glasses light up as he looks to the sky.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different in land.
Stop. It's
general,
okay.
in the GRI
Just give me a minute.
age. It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks, the jurisdictions of our 2 precincts. We run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works, our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate. Me too, but I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
I like Kim Kitsuragi way more than I probably should.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
Go to sleep, and then we'll end
The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you and then sleep doesn't come. And then sleep doesn't come. Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed. Maybe it's the bed's fault. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying something to do with, what was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone again. Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your...
Oh, dream sequence. Alright. We're gonna save. We're gonna save again. And we are calling it a night. Stephanie has to go to work in the morning, so I gotta be nice. Yeah, regardless. And now she calms down. Now she has a bone. Must be simple to be a dog. Wine, bone, food, jet. Yes. Repeat. I hope so too. I'm staying home tomorrow, but she has to work. I've had really easy days the last 3 days, so I feel rather guilty. I do really enjoy this game, though. Very different than what I usually play. So, thank you, Pro, again. But regardless... And there's my phone. Okay, there we go. Anyways, all have a good night, and thank you for showing up. If Bro is here. Other than that, everyone else who silently showed up, thank you. Alright, anyway, have a good night. Thanks again, Pro, for all your help. And I will see you next time. Probably not Friday because we haven't been doing anything. But anyways, you all have a good night. Peace.